Welcome to the Education Corner, a podcast by Education Choices magazine.
Education Corner podcast, absolutely thrilled to welcome Louise McCabe-Arnold, who is the new headmistress of Surbiton High Girls Prep. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your career prior to joining Surbiton High Girls?
Yeah, certainly. So I spent the first part of my career in an all-girls prep in Kent before I moved to the Middle East, and I spent 6 years there as head of maths in a large co-ed British school in Abu Dhabi. I then had a wonderful 6 years there, then moved back to the UK and worked as a deputy head in a girls prep in central London before moving back to Kent again as deputy head in another girls prep. So I've always kind of followed that single sex route. I've always had a real passion for teaching maths and PE, and that was one of the reasons actually that attracted me to Surbiton. It was that mix of academic rigour and sporting success that is very much me too.
And you've spoken in a previous interview about loving that light bulb moment. Can you tell us a little bit more about this and your philosophy towards good teaching practice?
I think good teaching initially comes from passion and enjoyment for a subject. And so much of maths teaching, for example, is convincing children that they can do it and making it relevant to real life. Every subject becomes more valuable when children see a connection between the content of it and their own life. And I think when that curiosity turns to interest, children just become so much more invested in what they're learning. And I think a teacher's excitement for a topic is really contagious, and seeing a child suddenly grasp a concept is just so rewarding.
Especially with little ones, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Have you been able to, I mean, you're obviously a very recent appointment, but have you been able to take a hands-on approach since joining the junior school? And what aspects of being there do you enjoy the most?
It really is such a fantastic school, and I think getting to know the girls and staff this term has been so lovely. It's a really wonderful time to join a school actually in the summer term. There's so much going on, the sun is shining most of the time, and I've been able to get into the classroom, spend time with the girls at break times and lunch times, run assemblies, and just really get a sense for how the school is running on a day-to-day basis.
And obviously no one makes changes initially, but what are you hoping to bring to the school and to initiate in the academic year ahead?
First of all, the girls' prep is already an excellent school, so any changes I make will be small ones. I think the change that most of the girls have enjoyed the most is the addition of our new school dog, Kona. So she's a trained school assistance dog. She's just turned 4 years old, and she's actually been with me in a school environment since she was 8 weeks old. She's already making herself at home. She's getting to know the girls. They've enjoyed lots of cuddles and strokes with her. They are very excited about her coming into lessons and being able to work with her on a one-to-one basis. So that has been a lovely thing to introduce straight away. I think my focus into the new academic year will really predominantly focus on 3 areas. So I'm first of all looking at continuing the really good academic provision, increasing that academic rigour across the school, particularly in years 5 and 6, but with very much a focus on not putting undue pressure on the girls. I've previously in my career worked in preps where the focus has been on school selection at 11 plus. And I think the wonderful appeal at Surbiton High Girls Prep is that the girls reach those really high academic standards and they have that really excellent prep school education, but they get that without the pressure of competing for a secondary school place. The 11 plus process is such a brutal process for them. And I think not having to focus on that means that we have a lot of time and effort to put towards giving the girls a really well-rounded education. And then secondly, I think I'll be looking to improve on our sports provision across the school, keeping our sports for all mentality, but with a focus on every opportunity for those girls who have a talent in a particular sport, whether that's individual or team, and really giving them the opportunity to shine in those areas. And then thirdly, I'll be looking at the collaboration with the boys' prep. I think we've got such a wonderful advantage here of offering single-sex education, but with all the benefits that come from the boys' prep. And I'm really looking forward to working with my counterpart, Tracy, at the boys' prep to improve those collaborations.
That sounds fantastic. And it's also wonderful for families if they've got, you know, a boy and a girl, isn't it? You can...
Yeah, it's that love. I think you just get the best of both worlds, really.
Yeah, especially with arranging holidays and things like that in terms.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you tell me a little about the ethos that drives Surbiton High School Girls Prep?
I think our motto, which I really love, actually, it was something that I was really impressed with straight away when I joined the school, that the motto is "May love always lead us." And I think it really sums up everything that as staff we do at the school, and as the children do as well. We really believe as staff in teaching the girls not just the knowledge and the understanding required for the curriculum, but it's really important to us that we develop their emotional intelligence and ensure that they're kind, supportive, generous members of the community with their words and their actions. And I think as staff, we seek to inspire and empower the girls by encouraging them to achieve anything they set their minds to. And so I think one of our strengths is that we deliver a really rigorous curriculum, but we also place huge importance on the girls' well-being.
Wonderful. And how do you involve and support parents at the school?
We very much have an open door policy. Parents are so vital to our school community. Since I've begun, I've had the pleasure of holding several Meet the Head events because it's really important to me that I get to know the parents as well as the children. And I think post-COVID, now that the world's starting to open up a little bit more, we're trying to get the parents back into school as much as possible at every opportunity. So whether that's our coffee concerts, we've got one of those coming up this week. We're having some sharing mornings this term so that we can get the parents in to share their work with their children, as well as the usual events like Sports Day and our productions and prize giving and things like that. And then we also have a really thriving parents association that liaise with the school on fundraising events and support the children wherever they can.
Wonderful. What's the best time in your view for prospective parents to initially visit for an open day and start thinking about registering their child?
So we hold open events throughout the year where prospective parents can meet with myself, with the other staff, and then they can have a tour of the school by our Year 6 girls. And we generally recommend visiting about 18 months prior to application.
So there's no need to register at birth? Or
No.
And can you tell me a little bit then about the application process?
So our registration for reception entry can be made at any time prior to the November before their daughter would begin school. Once registered, the children will be invited to attend a small group stay and play session. So this allows the girls to explore our learning environment, get to meet our staff, get to know some of the other pupils, and then also allows us to observe the children in a very particular early years setting. And so as part of that admissions process, everybody gets invited to the stay and play. We'll also contact the children's current nursery or preschool to request a confidential report. And then we also have the option of observing the children in their own setting that they may find is more comfortable for them. We aim to inform all the parents of the outcome of their daughter's application as soon as possible. And then we offer places following our stay and play session. We do have a limited number of places at 7+ as well. So we hold a maths and an English entrance assessment in early January, and that's during the school year prior to entry.
And what values and characteristics do you hope to develop in the girls in the time that they're with you?
I think we're looking to develop dynamic, well-rounded girls at the girls' prep. And I think what's important, there's no such thing as a typical Surbiton girl. We want to celebrate every girl's individuality and harness what makes them unique. And I think what's a really lovely part of the school is we have our Surbiton High learning habits, which are the foundations of how we teach and how the girls learn. And that's based around the 4 areas of thinking, productivity, involvement, and emotions. And it very much underpins everything we do.
And scholarships and bursaries, I know particularly as they go on through the school, that becomes a larger part of a consideration. And I know that the senior school are very generous with these. But how do you support families who may need additional financial support or with children perhaps that are gifted in music and art?
So we do have a limited number of means-tested Church Schools Foundation bursaries. We have some that are awarded in the prep school, and then we have some that are awarded from Year 7 until Year 11 of the senior school, and they're reviewed annually. We don't offer full bursaries, but we do ask that parents can make a contribution to the fees alongside those bursaries. And then we have scholarships in a range of subjects. So we have academic scholarships, art, drama, dance, performing arts, music and sport, and our main sports of cricket, football, gymnastics, hockey, netball, tennis and skiing. And that's on, I know it's a very full programme, and that's on merit from Year 7. So we don't have scholarships in the prep school, but we do have that option as the girls move
Yeah.
into the high school.
In fact, we've sent a number of children with both academic and sports scholarships in the last few years. Do you have a strong additional learning needs or SEN department for the children?
Yeah, so although we are an academically selective school, we support the girls in a range of ways. And actually, since joining the school, I've been really impressed with our SEN department. They do a really fantastic job at ensuring that every girl reaches her potential, has an access to a range of resources and specialist teaching. And that could be whether it's for an intervention for phonics, maths, or perhaps something more practical like needing a standing desk or concentration breaks during the day. And they're very active in making sure that all those things are available to the girls. Our focus on mental health and well-being, I think, is particularly strong. And we have a really well-developed mentoring program, which enables our girls to access staff members that they can share their concerns or worries with. And then, of course, we also have our school assistance dog, Kona, who works with the girls both during whole class teaching or on a one-to-one individual basis where that might be needed.
Do the girls get an automatic place to the senior school, or do they still sit some internal assessments?
Yeah, so the girls do receive an automatic place at the senior school, although we do monitor their academic progress throughout the time at the prep school, just to make sure that they'll be able to thrive at the high school. And we would have those conversations with parents as we go along. It's not a shock when they get to year 6. It would be a conversation that was had along the way. All our girls in year 6 do sit the high school entrance paper, and they're interviewed as well at the same time as external candidates. And that's mainly to see where they place amongst those external candidates, but that's also for them to be considered for scholarships. So this year from the girls at the prep school, we had 20% of our girls received an academic scholarship to the high school, and that was comparing them against external candidates. And then we had a range of other scholarships offered as well in different areas.
So about how many go on to the senior school?
The majority do. We have perhaps a handful every year who might follow different paths. Perhaps some might go co-ed, some might go to a boarding school, 1 or 2 may go to a state school, but it is the majority.
And you've mentioned this before, but obviously you've got on site, I mean, I've been there myself, the boys' prep as well. What opportunities are there for the girls to mix with the boys?
I mean, obviously with COVID, it's been a bit tricky. We've had a lot of things have had to stop, but we do have lots of things or opportunities through the year. So we have play dates that are set up between the boys and the girls, that they are pre-arranged events for the classes to get together. We have our Key Stage 1 Sports Day is held with all the boys and girls together. We have some of our learning outside the classroom, which we call LOCK, which is held at our Hinchley Wood site, where the girls and boys can get together there. Our house music events, concerts, just any opportunity I think that we can. And then looking forward, we're looking at trips. We have had trips, day trips before. We're looking at other things that can go ahead where we can get the boys and girls together as much as is possible.
And do you have a sibling policy?
Yes, we do. We welcome applications from children who've already got a sibling at the school. Places are always allocated on merit, so all applicants still need to take the relevant age-appropriate assessments. We do have a system whereas if the children attend in any of our 3 Surbiton High schools at the same time, fees are discounted by 5% for the second sibling and then 10% for the third and any subsequent siblings.
Lovely. And obviously we're coming out of a very strange time with the pandemic. What aspects of school life are you looking forward to being able to reintroduce at Surbiton High Prep?
I think so much of our school has opened up already, which is wonderful. But more than anything, I think we're looking forward to getting the parents back in as much as possible. Every opportunity that they can come in to share with their daughters' achievements, to look at their children's work, to meet with our teachers. And I think just get our community back together again as much as possible, really.
Yeah. It's so lovely to be able to see people face to face without a mask.
Yeah, it just makes such a difference, to be able to have people in person.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for giving up your time. I know that you're incredibly busy and speaking to our Education Corner podcast.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.